Centuries ago, the people of the sea would occasionally visit the world of humans. At that gateway, a love story was born, one that could only exist in dreams. There was a young fisherman who, for love, was ready to change his fate, his heart, and even his soul. Every morning, he would cast his nets into the sea, catching fish to support his family. One evening, his net felt unusually heavy. Smiling, he thought, "Surely, something big is caught today." He pulled with all his strength, only to discover not a fish, but a sleeping mermaid. Her hair gleamed like threads of gold, her skin pale and radiant, and her tail shimmered like silver. The fisherman, mesmerized, gently lifted her into his arms. Startled, the mermaid cried out, "Release me! I am the daughter of the Sea King." The fisherman replied, "I will let you go, but promise me that whenever I call, you will rise from the sea and sing, so that fish come to my net." Swearing on the sea creatures, the mermaid agreed, and the fisherman freed her. From that day on, every evening he would call her from the shore. She would rise and sing the songs of the ocean, the silver palaces, and the tritons with green beards who blew conch shells at the king's arrival. Her voice brought fish to the surface, and the fisherman caught them in his nets. Smiling, the mermaid would return to the depths. Slowly, her singing became more enchanting, and the fisherman began to forget his nets, spending his days simply listening to her. One evening he confessed, "Princess Mermaid, I love you. Make me your companion." The mermaid shook her head. "It is impossible. You possess a human soul. Only if you renounce it can I love you." Determined, the fisherman sought a way to rid himself of his soul. A sage warned him, "Your soul is your greatest treasure. To abandon it is a sin. Sea creatures cannot distinguish good from evil. Be cautious." Ignoring the warning, the fisherman approached merchants, offering to sell his soul. They laughed and refused, saying, "We have no value for a soul. Sell your body, your nets, or your boat instead." Finally, he remembered a young sorceress living at the mouth of the bay, who could help him separate from his soul. He found her and pleaded, "I want freedom from my soul. I will pay any price." The sorceress agreed, asking for gold, his boat, nets, and home. She instructed him to meet her on a full moon night atop a mountain, dance with her, ignore the black dog and the owl, and perform her ritual. Following her guidance, the fisherman cut his shadow with a blade, which represented his soul. Standing before the sea, he declared, "I no longer need you." His soul appeared, but he turned away, choosing love over his own spirit. From that day, the fisherman and the mermaid lived in the embrace of love. Wealth and power were offered to him, but he declared, "Love is my greatest treasure." And so, the fisherman and the Princess Mermaid story continued. A tale of devotion, sacrifice, and the triumph of love over all. Asterisk. Asterisk. The fisherman's human-form soul left, crying, and set off on a journey. 3 years later, it returned to the shore and called out to the fisherman. Rising from the sea, it said, "Why did you summon me?" The fisherman's soul replied, "I have seen wondrous things. In a town along a river, there is an inn where boatmen drink and sing. A dancer comes there, so beautiful that her bare feet resemble white doves. I have never seen such an enchanting dance in my life. That town is only a day's journey from here." The fisherman thought, "My beloved mermaid has no feet. She cannot dance. But I will see this dancing girl and then return." And so he set off with his soul. Along the way, the soul tried to mislead him repeatedly. In the first city, it said, "Take that silver cup from the shop." Unknowingly, the fisherman did so, then regretted it, saying, "This is wrong." In the next city, the soul said, "Strike that child." The fisherman obeyed and then wept, realizing the wrong he had done. In the third city, he stayed at a merchant's house. At night, the soul commanded, "Strike the merchant and take his gold." Initially, the fisherman refused, but under the soul's influence, he obeyed. Taking the bags of gold, he fled, later shivering with guilt, exclaiming, "Why did you make me commit these deeds?" The soul replied, "You never gave me love when you sent me into the world. Now I have no feelings, and nothing seems wrong to me." Horrified, the fisherman declared, "You are a wicked soul. I will have no further connection with you." He drew the dagger given by the sorceress, attempting to cut his shadow, which represented the soul. But the soul said, "Once you accept your soul, you must carry it with you for life." Broken, the fisherman wept and resolved, "I will return to my beloved mermaid and tell her everything." The soul tried to tempt him again. "Your beloved? There are dancers more beautiful than her, with laughter like waterfalls. Come, I will show you." The fisherman remained silent and returned to the sea, to the same shore where he had fallen in love with the mermaid. From morning until night he called for her, but she did not come. Days passed, then months, then a year. Now he sat by the sea with his soul, calling endlessly for his beloved. Years went by. His hair turned white, wrinkles lined his face, yet his eyes still held the same longing. One evening, as the sun began to set, the fisherman rowed his boat to the shore. Suddenly, a piercing cry rose from the sea, as if the soul of the ocean itself was torn. Dark waves surged toward the shore, carrying a shining object. Yet it was calm, like a broken dream. The object approached slowly. The fisherman's heart stopped. Running forward, he saw her, his mermaid, for whom he had grown old in longing. She was before him, lifeless, trembling. He lifted her face, kissed her cold red lips, and whispered, "Look, I am here. You have returned." The fisherman held the mermaid in his arms and wept uncontrollably. Beside him, his soul spoke softly, "Come, let us leave." But the fisherman, voice trembling, replied, "No, I will not leave her. When she was alive, she was my ocean. Now that she is gone, I will remain in her ocean." The black waves of the sea rose like a storm, each higher than the last, as if the ocean was eager to embrace them. And then it happened, they both sank into the waves. The sea claimed them into its depths, as if two souls had become one again. On that day, the fisherman proved that true love neither seeks wealth nor fears life or death. It exists only in the heartbeat, in every breath, in every wave. Even today, when evening falls and the sea becomes calm, fishermen tell their children the story of a young fisherman who fell in love with a mermaid, and how their love became eternal in the depths of the ocean. Asterisk.